yeah. You guys know what it is. It's What's Up Big Rapids. It's my favorite time of the week. We're your hosts. I'm Chris Jane.
And I'm Pat Brooks.
Before we even get into it, we just want you to know that no matter who you are, no matter where you're from, no matter what you look like or what you've done, you are a loved, valuable member of this community, and we're so proud of you, and we will try not to waste even a moment of your precious time. Pat, how are you today?
I'm wonderful. Like every week, we appreciate all the love. Hit that subscribe button. Keep hitting the like buttons on the videos. It's really pushing them. So we appreciate all the love.
Yeah, and like the comments too. You guys have let us know about some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's enlightening. Yeah, I mean,
awesome.
Sometimes I'll dive into comment sections I didn't even know were there because maybe I didn't get a notification or something, and I find myself reading some
appreciate it.
things.
We've got some great stuff for you guys today. We've got some good updates, but I just want to kind of check in with you, see how your Memorial Day weekend was.
It was
buddy.
good. Real quick, we recorded early last week because of the golf outing that we both attended.
I completely forgot about that.
It was awful. It rained the entire
You know
time.
what? I loved it.
There you go.
I loved. I mean, just to sort of put a little silver lining on something. I remember on the show I was moaning about it. I was complaining that it was going to get rained out, that it was going to be a terrible waste of a day. You know, and you know how much I enjoy golf, but to go out in a day where start to finish, it's just going to be cold and wet. Not my idea of a great time, even for charity, but somehow, I don't know how I do it, great guy syndrome, got through the whole, no, I'm just kidding. Loved it. I had a great day. Not only was I soaked, I gave up on I didn't even put on a glove, right? Because I knew there was no point. Right. They were just going to get soaked.
Yep.
I felt great. Golfed out. They never lost grip. Swinging the club.
I golfed in like the leather gloves.
Smart.
Yeah, gave me great grip all day.
Honestly, I was golfing in like mud boots and no gloves and had a ball. As a group, we came in slightly over par in a scramble, so you know that it wasn't great golf. I mean, it was everything was soaked. But I mean, I drained like 2 putts that were over 15 feet.
Fun. That's always fun.
I mean, come on.
It's those moments that bring you back to golf.
You got to take what you can take.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And by the second half, my hands, the back, I couldn't feel my hands, and my drives completely fell apart. But you know what? Wonderful day spent with good company. Yes. I actually got to spend it with your old crew, some of the folks from the Pioneer.
Yep.
And we had a wonderful time, and I got zero complaints about that day.
Yeah, no, the chamber did a great job.
You guys
did
great.
I mean, it was great fundraising opportunities. There was sweet autographed jerseys.
I was very impressed with the prizes.
It was very, very cool this year.
I was not in competition for any of them. No, I mean, we didn't come even close to winning anything.
We did okay.
All.
I think we were a couple strokes out on the co-ed team, but it was a great day.
That's wonderful, buddy.
Yeah, no. And
thanks for reminding me.
The very next day, though. Honestly, I was probably even a little bit colder at graduation.
Oh, I've been sick ever since.
I seen your wife roll in wearing a dress, and I thought, good for her. She doesn't even have a blanket.
She's beautiful, right?
Yes, of course.
She looked about 30 years younger than the rest of the board.
There you go.
I said what I said. Wow. You guys all heard me. They can watch this. They know where I'm at. She looked like she's aging in reverse.
Yeah. No, I thought, why are we not inside? Wow. I get the logistics of it and stuff, and like that's just
sounds like Chris has a little makeup to do right here. I mean, I'm just wondering.
Actually, I just saw the photo, and I like I said, I call it like I see it.
There you go.
I try to
Good
be
man.
fair.
It was my first Big Rapids graduation.
I am not aging the same. So we're clear. Look at this. You can all see it. See that, Dom?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look at me.
In 4K
I scratched my head.
Actually.
Yeah, we should be in better quality this week than last.
Hopefully not zooming in on your face
and not zooming in when I do this kind of stuff. We're figuring all that stuff out.
It was great. Yeah, graduation was great. It was cold, but we, the kid was in the bands, so we went, and it was a great time. It was my first Big Rapids graduation, so, I'm sure there'll be more in the future. And
what'd you do this weekend? Cookouts?
I worked a lot. I'm working on the 2 houses, so I did fit in quite a bit of work at both of them. I went and seen Final Destination. Oh, the new one.
Yeah, it looks worth watching.
It was, an advanced version of the last, 5 or whatever.
We've been trying to get to the theater ever since Thunderbolts came out. I don't think we're going to catch it at all.
This is crazy because you almost always go to the. I've been there 3 times since you.
We just can't make it. We didn't make it this weekend either because we had the Splash Pad opening on Friday. That was excellent. Or I'm sorry,
Saturday.
It was Saturday, wasn't it? It was Saturday. It was a really nice event, guys. A
lot of people there.
Was proud of how the city turned out, and the speakers did a great job. everybody involved should really be proud of themselves for that whole thing.
Go check it out. That
Mathew
splash pad is
James
sweet.
Hanson splash pad is a real, I think a real, what do they call that? The feather in the cap of the city. It's just a nice, really nice thing. And the family was on hand. It was really touching to see the kids.
I seen the pictures.
Inaugurate the sort of the thing. And
Because
run
of the
through
work
it.
thing, like I got there like 20 minutes late. And I'm gonna drive through, so I drove through, and I'm like, it's busy. Hi everyone.
It was busy.
Went back to work, but
It was busy. I was there for that, and then what else? The Memorial Day parade that culminates at the cemetery.
Yep.
Was really nice, and got to see the band
very cool.
do kind of probably their last thing of the year. So
Yep. Yeah, we actually on Monday we went to Burley Park.
oh nice.
It's my favorite one of the year.
Sure.
And a lot of people, I guess a lot of people don't know, but Burley Park is a massive flea market down on 46. It was a lot of people. It was a lot of junk.
Oh,
I found
that's,
some treasures, but
That's classic. That's classic for the.
I like
that
to go for
weekend.
that one.
Sure.
You know, they do it like 4 times a year, but
And our sincerest and warmest thanks to those who have served, have lost ones who've served, those who maybe this wasn't the best weekend for because you think about people that you've lost and stuff like that. Our hearts go out to you, and we appreciate everything you've sacrificed for us to live in this incredible country.
yeah, let us do something like this.
Yeah, that we get to
ridiculous.
goof around on a work day doing something like this.
Yes. Thank you.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
should we move this thing along?
We might as
'Cause
well.
I'm feeling like I've been nervous since we started because we've got our first guest today, and y'all already know who it is because you can see the title. But if you're just listening to this or you just happen to be stumbling onto a clip, we decided to class this joint
Step our game up.
a little bit. We have stepped it way up. I thought if we're going to have guests on this show, and it's always kind of been our hope that we could, I always knew that there was only one guest that could be the first guest. If we were really going to set our sights right.
Episode 20, by the way.
That's right. Episode 20. So
20.
it's taken us this long to kind
3
of
months,
shake
solid.
things out a little bit and
Glitchless, hopefully.
glitchless. So here we go. This is my attempt at being a professional podcast hoster, introducing a guest. All right. Okay. Today on What's Up Big Rapids, we welcome a man who spent a lifetime delivering, literally and figuratively. He's helped bring over 6,000 babies into the world, and now he's helping to guide our city into the future. Born in Bay City to Clifford and Margaret, he's a Michigan Tech and Wayne State alum who has called Big Rapids home since moving here to practice medicine in 1983. The husband of 50 years to Diane, devoted father of 3, grandfather of 8, and a brand new great-grandfather of 1, and the 64th mayor of the city of Big Rapids. He's traded the scrubs for City Hall, but he's still all heart. Please welcome the baby-catching, city-leading, always smiling Mayor Fred Guenther.
Oh my!
How was that?
That was great.
Was that
Chris.
okay?
Do it again. You kind of the splash pad party, I'll call it, was one of the best things I've ever seen in Big Rapids.
You were great at that, by the way.
There were 200 folks at least there, all positive, all kids playing in
Even
the
though it
50
was
degree
cold.
I was
weather.
going to say cold, too.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was so good that it just made it all worth it.
I just want to say you and our,
Tim did a really
Tim Heist,
nice
our
job.
administrator,
Yes.
our superintendent. I'm sorry. You guys were great. John was wonderful. It was a great event. The city
Wasn't it
should be
the
proud.
epitome of what a small town should be?
Yeah.
Yeah, spent $3 million on basketball courts and splash pads and kayak launches. It was outstanding.
Yeah,
Very good.
it's the kind of stuff I wish we could announce like every season.
Yes.
You know, it's
Let's do this one.
right. Let's do
gonna,
this next.
I'm not gonna lie. I was around this area when the wood playscape was built, right? And I remember when that happened. It had the same type of feel to it.
Yeah.
You felt like Big Rapids was finally like,
Yeah, it's something we can be proud of.
be proud of, and now here we are. Fast forward, probably 30 years since they did the place.
Man, and I was
out.
standing there looking at the whole thing. It looks awesome. If I was a kid, I would be so stoked about that playground.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
I mean, they're
whole
not. I promise you guys, they're not going to miss the wooden playscape. They won't even ask about it. This thing is sweet and it's clean. It won't give them slivers. You won't have anybody camping in it.
Camping it.
You know what I mean? Like it's
The floor of the jungle gym part.
Yeah.
What is that? It's like soft
some
and
sort of
mushy, and you
super,
walk on it.
some
It's
sort
amazing.
of super thing. I guess it will allow the water to soak
It
through.
must, yeah.
But it's
Without
really
creating
cool.
puddles.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Kids splash in and get sick and all that.
I can't wait. I'm hoping. I'm glad that the city is doing the skate park at Swede Hill, but I can't wait for attention to come back to Hemlock Park because we had a design for a skate park in that park
Yes.
that would be so that would draw people from all over. I think. We put maybe a bouldering wall in there after that,
yeah.
like Grand
Keep
Rapids
building,
has.
man.
and
Hemlock's a good spot.
Hemlock Park could be
Great parking, good views.
I could see food trucks down there and it being like a real summertime draw. You got games
They're
happening.
talking about yearly food truck festival
Nice.
where 40 or so food trucks come in and everybody in the state comes to your city for a food truck festival. What do you think?
Very cool.
You take my money right now.
I think it would work. I think it would work. You can't do it every week, obviously, but once a year, I don't think they'll think we're competing too much with their restaurants. et
No,
cetera.
I don't think so. I think ultimately just it breeds more success. You know
Fun,
what I mean?
fun.
Like
People start
competition.
thinking like,
What'd
oh,
you
well,
think
we
of
go
the
to,
lobster truck? Did you check that out?
I didn't get to taste
No.
it.
I went down.
I was impressed
You'd
by
think
it.
the mayor could get a lobster roll, right? There were 40 people in line, and I couldn't get it done before my next meeting. So that was amazing. That truck goes
It's on the
nationwide.
docket, but there's going to be another one on Sunday at Tractor Supply. This is the Cousins
The
Maine
lobster one?
lobster.
Cousins, Maine.
Yeah, they're going to be at
Cool.
Tractor Supply on Sunday from 12 to 6.
Shout out to those
There you
guys.
go. Shout that one out.
I'm digging that we're seeing more food trucks around town in the parking lots and whatnot. It just gives people another option to grab something. And honestly, what I was thinking is Hemlock Park could be the kind of draw where it's like parents are saying to themselves, well, we go to Big Rapids every weekend as it is. We should, like, are there jobs there? Or can we move there?
Amen.
You know what I mean? It's like, well, our kids love it there. They've got that's where they go and play hockey. That's where the park is. That's where they've got softball tournaments and whatnot. We're always in Big Rapids. Maybe we should, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
they shop here. They,
Yeah,
I mean, they play
hopefully.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. With the trails,
Yeah, you were talking about how the progress that's made out at the depot recently. I mean, it's
that's right. We're having the whole. Sorry, man.
That ribbon cutting's coming.
I
in
know. Can you
June.
tell us more about that?
It's going well, except I'm going to have to be a little negative.
We're talking about the
We
depot
can't get
project.
the DNR to allow us to go across the trail to hook up the sewer for the new bathroom.
Oh no.
They're holding it up.
Is that our only option?
No, we could come all the way down the other direction through the blacktop that we just put in. So that's a bummer. We're just waiting
That's
for
okay
that to be
because
done.
I was going to say
Patience.
it's okay because even though things take forever, it'll probably be okay. But honestly, it could take forever, and then they say no because the DNR is like that.
We
sometimes.
have had that issue.
Yeah.
Eagle's about like that too.
Yep. I couldn't be happier with what that family has done for the depot. It's awesome.
It's a cool bike shop
It's
too.
so cool. Einstein Cycles, those guys are great. If you haven't been in there, I highly recommend it. They're friendly and they're happy to, they're not the kind of people who are like, oh, you don't know about bikes.
Oh,
you know what I
cool.
mean? They can't wait to help
like they're
you.
from California or something.
No, these guys have ridden bikes all over the world, literally, and they would love to help you become passionate about something they're passionate about. So, but I saw that the pavilion is done, basically.
Yeah,
I mean,
we just got to hook the sewer up to the sewer line.
so it's a couple of bathrooms, and then there's like covered space,
Right.
a patio space or something, probably to help people get out of weather. Is there lockers?
No.
Not in that
No,
space.
there's a space
Okay.
for utilities,
Okay.
and that's about it.
And they're prepping now for the parking lot. Seems
Correct.
to me they're
Getting ready to pave.
Ready
but
to pave.
they have to get that line across.
Yeah, no kidding. Or else we're going to be redoing stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not real happy, the builder. He's anxious to get it all done and go home.
When are we supposed to cut the ribbon?
June 20s.
Nice.
Somewhere
Okay.
right there.
Okay.
All right. A month.
27th.
We can wait that
24th.
long.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad at all.
That'll be a nice opening.
Well, Mayor, let's turn it over to you. We just keep talking and talking and talking because that's why we did this show.
That's
is
what
to
you
hear
do, I
ourselves
think. Isn't
talk.
that what a podcast
Yeah,
is?
that's all we do.
But we would love to hear anything that you want to share with the listeners, with the city of
Sure.
Big Rapids, or just us in general.
Yeah.
4 years ago, I decided to run, right? A gynecologist retired. Really, I had no political experience, but I thought they needed a certain kind of leader in town. Hands on, go get it. Positive,
Hanson.
let's go. Yeah, the whole thing.
Hands on.
And I went to a lot of meetings, and I thought I'd stress the people here in town wanted better housing. And you talked about it in your
Amen.
open. And I'll give you a lot of updates if you have time. We've built 20 new homes since that time when I started. Rust Avenue cul-de-sac has 3. The builder who did that is looking for city lots that have been abandoned, burned out, or whatever.
There's a
He's
few.
got one on a couple of those lots, and he also participates in Mechanic Street. And most people have never seen Mechanic Street. It's just hidden away on the east side, and they don't go there. Go down there. It's really impressive. Every lot's now sold, and I think there's only 2 left without a house started.
That is so much faster
And
than
they're a little expensive. I mean, everything you guys sell is expensive.
they're
now.
below. I mean, honestly,
asking
they're
for
below
both
market
Yeah.
price.
Gotta
if
remember,
you-
7 of them were subsidized.
That's what I
housing.
mean. Like some of them, they have good deals.
$92,000 off your purchase price if you stay 5 years.
Right.
If you leave before 5 years, you owe it back.
Right.
Well, you can bet everybody's going to stay 5 years
Yeah.
and get it free. And those sold like hotcakes.
Yeah.
They're selling now.
Oh, I see. Now they're selling at
regardless.
full price, huh?
Yeah, now
Good.
they're selling.
That's wonderful.
So that's all good. However, that goal needs to be modified in the next couple of years. You got to have places people can live in who can't afford a $300,000 home.
Yeah,
And
that is not affordable housing, right?
that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
And people in town, there's a group that don't like to talk about affordable housing. They just don't, and they think that's going to be a bad thing. Well, they're wrong, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And we have now a large developer who's finally going to, we hope, start a development on Bjornson. It's 20 acres. I've got him down to 50 homes. He started at 75 because, the more homes, the more they can make.
Yep.
But it's too crowded. So we've got him down to 50. And a share of those have to be income-based.
Very good.
And whether the protesters against income-based, we're ready to tell them, no, we're going to do this. Plain
Wow.
and simple.
I remember
And
when I was
those-
on the planning commission, we had anytime you started to mess with, they get very upset.
They don't
and
get it.
I get it. I mean, and we all know, what it is. It's about a potential undesirable element that might come with a different type of, people living in your
That's the
neighborhoods or
gist
something
of
like that,
it,
which we
Chris.
get.
Yeah.
You
we
got it.
totally get it. But we have some lots in town. We have some spaces around that would be so good for some, for the type of development that it would make sense for the builder to build and for people to want to live in, but our zoning doesn't allow for it at the moment.
Well, I mean,
the
that's a
company that's going to develop Bjornson realizes that it might be hard to sell $300,000 homes and are on a fast track to rent those homes. So if they don't sell within so many months, they just make them rentals. And those rents are doable.
That's good.
And people don't have down payments anymore. That's the big problem. They don't have a down payment.
Yeah.
When you rent, you don't need a down payment. So we don't care. If it's a lot of rentals for people who have families and can't afford a house, they can live there.
Yeah, it
so we're
was-
excited for this
That would
development.
certainly ease the pressure a lot.
It'll
in
ease the
area.
pressure.
Yeah. Is that kind of something that was in the plans since the master plan has been approved? Or is that maybe before? Or how does the
A
master
little
plan
before.
fit into that?
What we have based it on as developers. When Goshen was going to come to Big Rapids, Mark Gifford and I probably had at least 20 meetings with developers. And they were all hot to go. Here we go.
Oh, yeah, of
Where you
course.
got land? What you going to do? And then as that has faded, the developers have disappeared. But the developer we have now, it's coming back into these smaller towns. He just did a few in White Cloud of all things, and that's
good.
kind of a poor town.
Yeah.
And they see the need, and they're ready to give it a
That's
try.
good. Yeah, outside of that development happening, there's still a need. I mean,
Oh,
we
my
we
goodness.
deal with it every single day. People calling,
They
looking
call
for houses,
constantly.
and
Yeah, Pat and Brandy manage
Oh,
rentals.
that's right. You are in the business.
yeah,
For all sorts of people, not just college
Yeah,
kids,
not
not
just-
just
yep.
single people, but family, every type of person, and they cannot,
there's
they
just
can't keep up.
only so many options, you
Right.
know, and it's unfortunate because we can't even. There's a whole group of people that we can't even help, even a little bit. You know, we kind of got to direct them in the right
I don't
direction.
I don't even dip my toe into it,
No,
Mayor,
Jeff.
because
Still,
you almost have to know somebody who knows somebody to get a decent place to rent in here in this town, unless it's in one of those complexes that you go to and fill out an application kind of a thing. So, yeah, I typically refer people to them first and try to help them.
Well, if 25% of 50 homes becomes rentable, that's a lot of people can live there.
Yep.
Yeah.
And we're all for that. That was the hottest issue during my first campaign. Second, of course, and Chris will giggle about this one, was theater.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's all anybody's talked about.
So we have Mark Gifford and I meet with the orientation leaders from Ferris every year. I am so tired. First thing they'll say is, when is there going to be a theater in this town?
Yeah.
You two talked about watching movies.
Yeah.
And I was just listening going, sheesh, they got to drive to Grand Rapids to watch a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so the theater thing has been on our mind. And I can tell you, Mark Gifford has tirelessly.
Yes.
We've met with so many people who thought they could afford to do the theater, and it just doesn't
Yeah.
happen. So we're in the process again with another developer trying to get a theater.
Yeah.
So that's a huge issue in this town. I didn't believe it, but it is.
I don't know if it closed yet, but we checked in with the gentleman, Jordan, about a week and a half ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
And he was hoping to close within the next week or so. I have not heard if it's official, but you know what? We'll
You
check
could ask
in.
the mayor.
Okay, it's not official.
Oh, no, it's not closed.
Well, guys, you heard it here first.
We actually know which title company it is, and we call all the
So
time.
you guys are just like,
Oh, we're dying to get it done.
Yeah.
We've done everything we can to help.
yeah. Well, this guy seems like the guy to do it.
He
If
knows theater,
knows theater and he knows small town theater.
but I
and the
don't know
love
if he
of it.
knows construction and all those hard points.
Yeah.
And I think that's
Yeah.
the hang up.
Okay.
He knows theater. He
Yeah.
actually picks the movies for 2 theaters, and he picks them himself. He doesn't
Right.
use a firm to bring in
Right.
movies. He
Yeah.
brings movies in that he thinks small town people want to hear.
That's right. He
So,
sounds
very
like
cool.
a super charming
Nice
guy.
guy. Nice guy to
Yeah, I
talk to.
really hope it works out, and we all are.
Yeah.
It's funny because the other city commission meeting, he was going to speak. He got there late because he was in Grand Rapids viewing the theater seats he wants to buy.
Nice.
And he brought that to us, showed us the theater seats. I will never go because I'll sleep the whole time.
Yeah, yeah, very
And you lay
comfortable.
back and you got a drink thing here and a thing over here.
Yeah.
It won't work for me because I'll be asleep, but they're
My
gorgeous
mom
chairs.
actually makes those seats.
We are so excited.
That's her job.
I can't wait.
So you feel the same way. And you,
Oh, I do. He had talked about even restoring the
has to.
Marquee.
the marquee
Yeah.
to
My
its
friends,
original
that's part.
glory.
If he gets the money from MEDC, which you guys all know is the economic developer
Yeah.
in Michigan,
There's strings that
they're,
he has
they're
to do that.
demanding a
Good.
marquee.
Good.
And we
good,
want a
good.
marquee. Somebody
Yeah.
says they found half of it in the UP, just north of Escanaba.
Okay.
So that's
There's
a rumor.
pieces
Now be
of-
careful. I
there's
got to be
pieces of
careful.
Bill
with that.
Rapids
easy.
I
everywhere.
have to be careful on
Yeah.
that one.
It's all right.
That
Only
could be
so
a-
many
just
people
a
watch
plain-
the show, so
Yeah.
you're good.
It's a
When you're
bad
when you're the only big rapids on the planet,
yes.
our stuff ends up places, and people
true.
people say, "Hey, we found this."
And
That's
the
kinda crazy.
MEDC wants a marquee, so he doesn't have a huge choice if he gets their dollars.
Let me ask you about one more thing before I forget, because I know that you guys watch and want to know about Chipotle. And since we got the mayor here, we haven't talked about that yet.
Right.
What's the latest on the
Yeah,
Chipotle?
Chipotle's been approved. Planning Commission's approved it. They got a summons for not cutting their grass. So they immediately called and said, "Hey, what's going on?" We said, "You got to cut your grass." And they said, "Well, we're going to be digging there this soon. And so
There it
we
is.
probably might not get the grass cut." And we said, "Well, then you better dig soon or you're going to
Yeah.
get tickets every week." So, we
right
think they're
now,
coming. We
it's
think
just-
they're
They're
coming.
forcing their hand, kind of.
Right
as
now
a
it's a
city.
vacant
Well, yeah,
building.
it's a $100 ticket.
Yeah.
You know,
Can they pay their tickets in Chipotle coupons?
we'd probably take them.
All right.
That might be considered a bribe. but
Yeah.
I would rather.
Oh,
they
we don't
just-
want that.
I
We don't want that.
I would rather they keep it tidy. That's
Okay.
all. That's all we want. Keep it tidy.
Apparently,
that house
college
down.
students love Chipotle.
They do.
That's what they're telling us. That's why they're
school
there.
kids.
I
Shows
think
that location.
all types of students love Chipotle. Not to mention other types of people
Yeah,
too. Yeah.
I love burritos and
I'll
all that
never
stuff.
understand why a Chipotle opens right next door to a Qdoba, or a Lowe's opens next to a Menards. I'll never quite grasp it, but I guess I sort of get it in another
Menards
way.
and Lowe's are busy, aren't they?
They always
They're
are.
a little smarter than we are, I think, probably.
Walmart and Meijer are always busy, aren't
You
they?
got it.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So somebody knows what they're doing. I hope.
The line at Wendy's and Taco Bell
That's
are
right.
both
I'll
long
tell
at
you,
lunchtime.
as a city mayor, you hate seeing empty buildings and empty lots. They're not paying taxes. They're not paying income tax. When Ferris bought the corner there, it used to be a Sitco, I think, or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
We weren't happy with that. We would love to see a business there who pays taxes and property tax.
Yeah.
Same across the street, it was a bank. Now it's Ferris Print Center. They don't pay property tax.
Right.
Then we thought for sure Ferris was going to buy Chipotle or buy that bank.
Yeah.
And we'd lose that. No, they're going to be privately
yet.
owned and operated.
all right.
That's a really strange thing. When you look at our city, a good share of the location is Ferris State,
Right.
who pays no taxes.
Correct.
I mean, they're good to us. They buy a lot of water. During school, that water bill is humongous. But we'd love to see more things.
Right.
There's several spots that we're working on them. I know Dr. Pink. I meet with him quite often. He's very personable, very smart.
Yeah, please don't say anything negative about Dr. Pink.
yeah. And
We're going to have him on the show next.
I get right after him with things that I think would benefit the city and Ferris. We just did negotiations with them for dial-a-ride. They give us a nice fee to service them, but they wanted an extra route to Meijer and back 2-3 times a day.
Yeah.
Well, we accommodated, and that's a good thing. They'll add a little to the revenue of dial-a-ride.
Yeah.
Those are ways. Without locals, there wouldn't be many people at the football, basketball, volleyball game.
Right,
You know,
right,
they
right.
kind of need us.
Sure.
And the smart ones realize it.
Yeah.
Some of them don't necessarily realize it, but the
Yeah.
sports coaches realize it hugely
Yeah.
because
Well,
they need us.
yeah, it's always as we say about Great Britain, you know, it's like our special relationship, right? With Ferris State, you know, between the city and Ferris State. It's a special relationship.
You never know which way it goes.
But I'm glad that President Pink seems like the kind of guy that wants, and you are
Works
too,
with
and
the
so
city.
you two working
It
together.
works really well.
Yeah, that's great.
Something I'm going to bring up just because I want to boast a little.
Please.
Most people don't really realize how important that fire merger was. When the Big Rapids Township Fire Department merged with the city fire department, I always have to talk about it because it was probably the thing that is the most important for saving lives and caring for the residents of these areas.
Well,
Yeah, I love
please,
that.
please
And
help us understand it.
now we have all their volunteers, we have their equipment, and we can cover better. We don't have any problem at the city getting firefighters. In fact, we have waiting lists for firefighters.
Very cool.
And that is really good. It's a hot job to get. So now, it is. I got to tell you, I like when I look at their package. They just signed a new contract. It's a good contract. So we're glad for that.
Yeah.
Good.
They get paid, and we give really good service. We do two townships in Newaygo County.
Right.
We do Green Township. Now we do Big Rapids Township. In other townships, I won't tell you who, are talking a little bit because it's just professionally full-time firefighting is really key to success. So that was a big thing during my tenure that I kind of spearheaded because of I knew the township guys. I lived in the township 20 years before I lived in the city 20 years. So there's a level of trust, and it worked really well.
Do you think that we might see more cooperative mergers take place?
We meet two township supervisors, Green and Big Rapids, once a month to talk about the sewer.
Yeah.
Well, if you think we can talk about the sewer for an hour, you're probably wrong. We talk about everything.
Yeah.
And there's always stuff going on where we could get together.
Team
Geez,
up.
water, sewer, everything. In their leadership, Bruce Borkovich is open. He listens. And so we're having some pretty good conversations. Same with Jason Cruz. They have different opinions on Goshen. I don't care. I'm the mayor of Big Rapids. I don't really have a lot to do with a Chinese battery plant. Never will. Aren't interested.
Yeah.
So it's going well, the merger.
Yeah.
And let's see. I got lists here. skate park. You talked about
yeah,
skate
yeah,
park.
no, I'd love to
I
hear
know
it.
nothing about skate parks. I think they're dangerous. When I'm a physician and I used to watch kids' heads get cracked, on those cement things. They're coming in June. Gerber Construction's had it ready for months, and the people who make the jumps and all that, we can't get it here till June.
The mayor's talking about over at Swede Hill Park, which is kind of across the street from the old canoe livery. They've poured the concrete for what looks to be a pretty impressive little skate park, a little skate plaza, I would call it. And there's some ramps and ledges, things like that, but it's very simple. The main pieces of the skate park are manufactured by a proper skate park company. They're shipped here, and then Gerber Construction's going to install them, and they've just been waiting on them. But they're supposed to be here soon.
June, yep.
In June, so hopefully within a month, y'all will be throwing crooked grinds, Smith grinds, 360 flips.
That
breaking these bones, those
ribbon
bones.
cutting's been set.
Good.
Okay.
But
Good.
don't ask me.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
You know how many
late
ribbon
June.
cuttings the mayor goes to?
I know. Don't worry. We will keep you guys posted right here on the show.
On this show.
And I had doubts, and I've been really educated because I thought, well, skate park, is that really going to be, a great thing?
Sure
Oh,
is.
my goodness. People come out of the woodwork talking about the skate park and what we should be doing with it. And we're talking even about a bathroom.
Kids in this area who are into skating, I don't mean Big Rapids, I mean in northern Michigan. They will travel hours to go to the best places. And there aren't that many to choose from. Well, you got Ludington. I mean, when we were scouting around, we went to Cadillac, Ludington, and by we I mean probably Mark and
2 or 3
and Miss Bohm, Heather.
Yeah.
They went and looked and brought back photos.
Ludington's cool, right
Very
by the
cool.
lake.
Very cool.
We'll be right by the river.
Geez,
Should be
man,
good.
I mean,
took a long time.
Kids from here having to go there to skateboard, kind of a thing. It's crazy. Our Hemlock Park is going to be a draw because you're going to have little sister playing tennis over here. You're going to have little brother at the splash pad, big brother in the skate park. Mom's playing pickleball. Dad's playing softball.
Uncle's fishing on your kayak.
Uncle's fishing on his kayak off the launch.
Do you like the bear as you cross the river?
the sculpture?
Bear?
Love that bear.
Have you met Ivan yet, who made the bear?
I don't think so.
Have you been to Baldwin and seen the fish?
Yes.
We've seen
That's
it.
Ivan.
Yeah.
So Ivan did the fish. Ivan did the bear. Now Ivan's doing a sculpture for the depot park.
Oh, he's doing that one.
Ivan's doing. I saw it.
It's like a wrench and a gear.
It's
kind of a thing.
I don't really.
Would
get
you say?
it, but-
Sorry, I'm so
don't get
sorry,
it.
Ivan. I did not mean to reduce your art down to just
Some kind of red
That's
gear.
me being like the Mona Lisa. It's just like a girl looking kind of like she's just
Maybe she's
bored.
looking at you. Maybe
Just a
she's
I
bored
think there's
girl.
more to it than you just said. But Mark Gifford, I stopped to see Ivan when we were on the way back from getting an award for Hemlock Park. The American Society of Civil Engineers gave us their Quality of Life Award for the year.
Wonderful.
So on the way back, we stopped at Ivan's
Now,
to see how the
shout out
sculpture's
Fleece and Vanderbrink
done. Shout out
to
those
that
guys.
company for helping us secure that.
I have to be careful about sponsoring those guys. They did buy lunch.
Well, I
though.
appreciate their good work. I couldn't do it. You know what I mean? I not very many companies can you go to that can tackle these big, big community projects or infrastructure projects and stuff. So, every time I talk to those guys, I feel like a kid who's still playing with the Tonka trucks and the crane in the sand. You know what I mean? Like that's my level of understanding of how it all works. So
Stop at Ivan's studio one day, just at St. John's. You go right by on 127. Unbelievable stuff he's doing.
amazing.
A tree for some city around here that's life size, spun steel.
Oh wow!
I mean, it's just amazing.
Boy, we are blessed with artists in this area. The sculptures that we have. I mean,
Our murals are as good as anywhere.
Well, certainly, but murals will fade. Those sculptures we will have until we're tired of them. You know what I mean? They will last the test of time. I love that about them. I had this crazy idea to help us rebrand as Sculpture City for a while. because there's not a Sculpture City, USA, and I thought,
We
that could
talked
be
about
us.
this a few times, yeah.
But then I've been to some other towns that had like way better. And it would be like,
we financially will
but
have
listen,
a hard time being a
you
sculpt
guys
town, but
know that it's not about who's best; it's who's first.
Yes, that's
if
true.
we call ourselves Sculpture City, USA,
we
when
had a
just-
sculptor in town who was pushing for a sculpture
Yeah,
city.
exactly right. And so,
That's cool.
anyway, we're
How about the Bird City, guys?
how about
Are
the
you following the Bird City?
Bird City?
Oh my gosh, you guys are off.
Yeah.
My brain just shut off. What's the Bird City?
Yeah.
So one of the gentlemen from the Audubon Society of Michigan came and gave a talk about chimney swifts.
Yes,
Right? And we have a lot of chimney swifts in Big Rapids.
I never even had heard of him. I thought that was a job you could have.
Now Mark Gifford is a real activist on chimney swifts.
Really?
So the guy gave the talk and he listened to everybody's comments. You're kidding. Bird people have lots of interest. And he's stopped and he said, you guys should be a bird city. I've heard of tree cities.
Sure, trail cities.
Yes.
Or,
but
yeah.
there is Audubon has a bird city criterion.
Okay.
I appointed the first 2 people and then we were flooded with people volunteering for the
That
bird
doesn't
city
surprise
committee.
me at all.
I mean, they came out.
There's no
we had to stop
downside.
at 9.
There's
and there
no
were more
downside.
people.
No
something
idea
like
this is
that.
even a thing. So I am.
Nobody's
Yeah.
going to get mad
I'm in awe.
at the Bird City people.
And,
You know
and
what I mean?
there's a criterion you got to fill
Nobody's
for
going
birds.
to be showing up to
Right.
scream.
They're not going to protest the
They're gonna
birds.
protest the
No.
birds. That's great.
So it's really kind of neat.
Will you pull up
I
a
could
chimney
name you-
swift, please?
I could
gotta see
name
one
all
of
the
these little
people,
guys.
and you'd know every one of them. And you'd say,
Yeah.
they're
Oh, yeah.
interested in birds. They're interested in birds.
I may not be surprised. Oh wow, pretty
You
little
wouldn't-
birds.
So the mayor built, Mark Gifford came to me and said, we want to do a purple martin house for the bird city. Now, if you see it looks like it's white and they're way up in the air and it looks like a motel, bird
Yes. Oh, yeah.
motel.
Yeah.
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 Well,
I
I
love
made
those.
him
I've seen
one.
those.
Yeah. So you built
Off a
one.
design from Canada, where they're prolific.
If you guys don't know
So
the
we-
mayor's other passion, I only know him to have one hobby in life. He delivered babies. He works in to make our city better, and he's a prolific woodworker. Those are the only
do a
things
lot
I
of
know
woodwork,
about him.
Yeah. And anyway, it's up.
Good.
And if you go look in center field of the Little League field,
Yes.
you'll see a white birdhouse up in the sky.
Oh, yeah.
go check it out.
And so that's
They
not
haven't
for
arrived.
that's
They
not for
didn't
the
make
chimney
it.
swifts. That's
That's
for the
purple martins.
purple martins, which is like a pair of boots I really wanted when I was a kid. They
I
all
didn't
the
have
other,
a clue what
all
it
the
was.
other kids had purple Doc Martens, and I thought that would be what I needed if I was going to fit in and be cool.
But
I did not know all these birds were around this area.
To me, if I saw that out, I would just think that was a grackle or a
yeah, they don't look like much. But
Yeah.
Mark Gifford convinced me they're great.
Well,
However,
wonderful.
there's a tragedy with them. When it got cold in the 50s, they can only go 3 days without food.
They died.
We lost a ton
Bummer.
of purple martins.
Bummer.
Because they eat insects, and if the insects go for those
Sure, man. They
so
go without.
we didn't get anybody to get
Well,
in the
next
motel.
year,
We're hoping next year.
we'll feed them if it gets bad like
And
that.
I want you to feature one of the bird city people here on your show.
Oh,
Yeah, of course.
Bring one of
Are you
the,
kidding?
bring the chairman
I
of the
can't,
birds in.
I can't imagine anybody
here now
not
for
wanting to
another
talk
45
more
minutes.
about birds.
I think it might be a certain group, huh? Maybe.
Hey, we did have a question for you off of the listenership, the viewership.
Yes.
Somebody sent in a question. Missy from Facebook. She says, hi, all. She's very nice to us. Appreciate that. She says, I'd love to hear Mayor Fred Guenther speak on his specific plans to bring in more long-term residents and how to be more attractive to businesses wanting to come in. What big dream ideas would he love to have happen in the city? Any special projects if he had an unlimited budget? Sometimes it's nice to hear those if I had a bajillion-dollar stories. And she also asked about merch. Thank you, Missy from Facebook, for the question.
Well, unfortunately, my dream would bring in 2 factories that employ 500 people each.
Totally.
This town needs it so
Industrial.
badly.
Yeah, we've lost a few.
Oh, it's been not that good. And so if I had my way,
Yes.
Missy, I'd say, okay, we'll just take that factory and put it right here in Big Rapids and employ people.
Yeah.
People need jobs.
Yeah. And
that ties into
manufacturing jobs
whether you're
are-
a no
yeah.
Goshen or a Goshen.
Right.
Jobs are jobs.
Well, and manufacturing jobs are the
Yes.
ones that move the needle for,
Yes,
for
they
an
really
area. You and I, we know that from every report
Yes,
we've ever
they have
heard.
babies.
Yeah.
Did you know that?
Exactly
You know, if
right.
you have a job, I watched Everett Products.
It's an economic multiplier.
When Everett Products is fully employed,
Yeah.
my birth rate in my office went up.
So he means literally it's a multiplier.
Yes.
When times are good, people have babies.
When they laid people off, they don't have babies. They're smart.
Yeah.
And
They tighten the
the
belt.
birth rate drops. The
Right.
birth rate at this hospital,
I've never heard this.
No.
This
Denoyer,
is a
Guenther-
hot take.
Denoyer Guenther Macaro 1 year delivered 700 children in Big Rapids Hospital.
All right.
They're at about 400 now.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
a drop. And that affects your whole
Everything.
economy.
Yeah, yeah.
And people don't have kids when they don't have jobs.
Right.
So
Our
Missy, I want
population
factories.
ages, yeah.
You might think it doesn't sound very glamorous, and it isn't very glamorous.
And you don't care what kind of factories.
So as long as it's environmentally okay,
Yeah, it's like, well,
I'm good.
Of course, these days everybody has to
Sure.
follow rules.
Yeah.
So as long as they follow the rules, we'll take any kind of manufacturers.
Yes.
You heard it from the mayor, guys. If you have any
I'll probably
sway.
get a little negative comments on that one, but that's how I.
Well, and listen again, please. We're not talking about Goshen, no
No,
Goshen.
it's nothing to do with
We're saying
Goshen.
we'll take another cheese factory.
Yes.
We lost a cheese factory. We'll take another
Wood
automotive.
chipper.
plant.
Wood chipper. What
Oh,
was
You
that
want
over there?
to build
Oh,
something?
for sure.
Please come to Big Rapids and build it, and we will.
Cheesecake
we'll make sure that
factory.
you've got the staff.
Even that.
Cheesecake Factory.
no,
We'll
we
take
need a
that.
real factory, Dom.
A real factory brings the cheesecake factory.
Yes,
is
we'll
what
There you
never
go.
get a cheesecake factory if we don't get real factories.
Yes.
but
Yeah, well, you know, there's an awful need for a restaurant or two in town too. And I giggle all the time about Olive Garden, and I do it on purpose. I did my whole campaign.
he brought it up.
We could have an Olive Garden, you know.
yeah, yeah.
Not that I would.
Hey, would you just please definitively tell the people who are listening, just once and for all, what's up with that? We don't have a chance at an Olive Garden, and Olive Garden won't even look at us until we hit a certain population.
They won't
size,
tell us
right?
the number.
Yeah.
And same with Red Lobster.
Yeah.
We went heavy after
So
Red
do you guys
Lobster.
hear this? They try. It's
We've
not that
tried
they're not
'em.
doing anything.
Listen,
they do put
This
the
is
feelers
very
out
important
there.
information.
Yeah.
This might be the most
is.
helpful, informative
Wouldn't that
segment
be
of the show.
fun?
Yes, it would be
Yes.
wonderful.
But they say our numbers aren't good enough. Red Lobster just said no. But Mount Pleasant has one.
Yeah.
They lost half their student population. Maybe
But
we
they've
could-
got the casino.
They got the casino.
It's
That's
the
it.
magic. They've got that extra thing we don't have, and
How about a
because
factory of
of it,
500? Would that help?
their manufacturing companies are still strong over there, and then
Yes.
they've got they've got the casino, they got the hospital, and they got a university.
Yeah.
We're missing something.
Yeah.
So
It's not like people don't want. Although every once in a while I'll hear somebody say, I don't want that to happen in Big Rapids. I want to stay small and quaint, and I'm not sure that you survive if you don't try to move forward.
well, I think you realize, and I like I do, that stasis is not achieved by a town. We don't stay in one place. It's never the same. As we said, we've actually been losing quite steadily some manufacturers. So we're not the same town we were even just a few years ago. So I don't know what we're talking about here. We're constantly in a state of flux.
when the census was done during 20, we lost 2,700 people on the census. But people don't realize with revenue sharing from the state, the city lost $500,000 a year.
Right.
We challenged it. We won the challenge. And they said, fine, you really are close to 10,000, but we can't change the disbursement unless you bring it as an act of Michigan House. Couldn't get it done.
Oh, jeez.
So until the 2030 census, we live with
Stuck
that.
with that
And
disbursement.
so that's been a really hard one for the city.
Yeah.
Thank goodness that
Unfortunately, the
Met-
marijuana money
Yeah.
made the difference.
I was going to say, thankfully, the Met funds. A lot of people
it made up the difference.
A lot of people don't realize, Mayor, that the municipalities that opted in all share in this gigantic revenue pool, right? That is made up of the licensing fees and the taxes from all of these various cannabis. So all of the municipalities that voted no, which were almost all of them, they don't share in that. But the city of Big Rapids and the county through the city, they share in that, and they get an exact same amount every year. The county gets the same amount that the city gets. And I don't think people realize that, but as much as we've moaned and whinged about all of these companies popping up and going and whatnot, it has added almost over $2 million already.
It filled in the gap with our lost revenues from revenue sharing.
Yeah.
That's good.
Our numbers are way down. You probably noticed. We had 18 that one year. Now I think we're closer to 9.
Yeah, it was like $100,000 less this year in revenue sharing.
That's correct.
Yep.
So I think
It's a blow.
you can't disagree with the fact that we need money to run these things.
Yeah.
It's just the way it goes.
Yeah, and that if the product is here and being sold and enjoying whatever, then you know what I mean. They should be kicking in too. They shouldn't be skating along underneath the market.
Yeah, which is what
it was
for
before.
decades.
Okay.
Yeah. The interesting thing about those is that the primary purchaser are not Ferris students. The primary purchasers are baby boomers. People in my age who can't sleep, have sore backs, sore joints, and they literally are big buyers of product.
Does that surprise you at all? Or
Nope.
No.
No. Ferris students have the people who they bought from probably their entire young lives, and they don't need to go to the Loom or wherever
Right.
else they go.
Right.
I have this distinct memory of the first time Siobhan and I went to Boston after they had, Massachusetts had made it legal, I think only in Boston there. And we happened to go right by this bank that had been bought and converted into.
Oh, my.
This is the first time I ever saw a dispensary. Didn't even know that word, right? This is how long ago this was. And it was this gorgeous bank that had been converted. And the line stretched around the block. This was back in those kind of days. Do you know what I mean? This was a new thing outside of Colorado, maybe Seattle. Boston was pretty early, I feel like. And we stood there. We had, we were waiting
In line or just
Yeah, so we stood there in line. No, we were waiting for an Uber or something, and we were just struck by the people who were in line. It was like people who looked like my grandmother, people who looked like my teachers, people who looked like our pastors, people who looked like they were on their way to a goth, metal show or something. It was everybody.
Yeah.
But mostly, you would have thought it was a pharmacy, any pharmacy line, not a medical cannabis,
Right.
whatever it was at the time. But
Yeah,
anyway, so
Interesting.
Something
different. I'm going to change subject.
Yes,
because
please
We'd
do.
like input on this one. Yeah. Hanchett Property, for the folks who don't know, it's a nice piece of land just on the north edge of town. And the city bought the land and got a huge grant to tear down the old Hanchett factory.
Yeah.
And it's there. And over the years, even since I've been mayor, there have been projects that came and went and nothing's happened. So this next commission meeting, we're doing a study session on what to do with the Hanchett property. We'd love input, and I think it's going to have to be something inventive and off the cuff, because we've had developers during that time when everybody was coming, none since. No. There's a little bit of environmental issue there and other things, but this commission,
I know you guys would be such good partners if anybody came along with any halfway decent.
we'd find a way.
Yeah,
We have brownfield.
I almost feel like we're probably like tired of saying, "Hey, we're looking for input on the Hanchett development property." Because remember how many?
We're trying it again.
I know. You remember
One more
we've
time.
had
Here we go.
another word that I had learned for we had all those, like, what do they call those, community conversations and whatnot. We had a bunch of events around the Hanchett property. This is back when I was on planning commission, and still the best idea I've ever heard. And of course, you don't do an idea like this without money. It would take it would take somebody willing to tackle something like this. But this was right at the time when Crankers was really thriving with their beer. Their beer was winning awards, and the brothers were working really well with, everybody was working great together, and that thing seemed poised to really maybe be the next Founders or the next Bells or something, right? Mm-hmm. We were all rooting for them. And I would have loved to have seen Crankers become the staple restaurant in a plaza that included a movie theater, that included shopping, that included in his restaurant a venue, a music venue, like Founders has or Bell's has. So it would be like this plaza, great parking, and then a park along the river. You know what I mean? So that after you've enjoyed your great evening, you can walk.
Start talking to all your buddies.
Well, I mean, that's a good point. If you drive through Cedar Springs, or you drive through Newaygo, you see their brewing building.
Yeah.
You know, they're very large. They're very beautiful from the outside. But, yeah, I was thinking like a outdoor music venue of some sort would be really cool right there. It kind of reminds you of like a mini Pine Knob or something, you know,
we
type
don't
thing.
want to own it. We want it to be on the tax rolls.
We really it would be great
we've
if it
had
wasn't
that
a park.
offer many times. Oh, just
We could
put
make
a
it a
band
park.
shell there.
Yeah, I was gonna say we could put a park anytime, but
No income.
Also, kind of loud there. We've already have a good. Let's get more use out of our band shell.
Here's mine.
Yeah.
The Wish.
Yeah, let's
Boutique
hear it.
hotel.
Yeah.
With a restaurant on top, with a great menu, and shops on the bottom. That's my goal.
Restaurant on top,
Yeah,
looking out over the
looking
river.
out over the river,
That's
north,
so
south.
smart.
I don't think it's gonna. Well, I
That might be
presented
an
it-
easier-
I only presented it to one person, and I won't say who it was, but they would be the president of a very large corporation in Green Township.
Okay.
And I presented it to them,
Got ya. Well,
and they were all for it.
I tell you what, the hotels are going to be full soon because that Dragon's Trail is so good and is so cool. Unless we fail to capitalize, will be the only way they don't. If Big Rapids can somehow continue to be the overnight stay for when you're enjoying the Dragon's Trail, there wouldn't be a reason we couldn't have a hotel on that side of town.
I think so too.
Especially if it
Let's do
promised
it.
river views, because none of the other hotels are offering that.
All right.
Your idea, I think, is an easier
shops
sell
down
than
below.
mine.
Oh yeah, for sure. No,
You
that-
know.
that'd be pretty cool
And
too.
if you don't have a permanent residence there, you don't have to worry about the environmental thing. It's clean enough that you could put a shopping mall or a store or anything. It's good. If you want to put housing there,
It would be different.
they would demand.
He's saying that because it's a brownfield redevelopment site. There were was it a fuel oil stuff in the
I don't
back in
know
the
what it
day?
was, Chris.
I don't know what it was back
There's a
in the
little
day.
left in the bank. They pushed the bank, a lot of it up against 131 there. So that's why there's that bank there. Apparently that still has some contamination. And you can't put residents in that level.
No.
You
But
put
these
a
things
hotel.
can be worked with too. I mean, if the kind
sure.
of developers came in who had the kind of money to do these projects,
clean that up
They'd
then,
clean it.
yeah.
Yeah, right. So,
yeah, they prep it and get it ready. Yeah.
well, I love it.
So there you go.
Anything else, Mayor, that you wanted to share, or I would say maybe any other things you're hoping for out of a
The
second
only other
term?
thing that I have noticed this year is they send me the permits for everything that happens in Big Rapids because I got ticked because I missed a couple. Plain and simple, I didn't know. So now I get every permit. The summer is full, guys.
Yeah.
If the citizens just pay attention, and read the paper or whatever they do, you guys go online.
Yeah.
There's a million things.
Check what's up, Big Rapids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of events. Trina, the secretary of that division in the city, sends them all to me now.
Well,
every
get us-
parade,
we got to get
every-
on that mailing
Yeah.
list.
How do we get on
That's
that
a good
mailing
one.
list?
That'd be a good one for us to be
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah, because we've been telling people that the Summerfest
Summerfest is on
well,
there.
Summerfest is June 7th, but the Pocket Park Music Series, that starts this Friday.
This Friday. Yeah.
The Bandshell Music Series is booked and is going to be starting soon.
June.
It starts
18th.
I'm going to be there. I'm going to be playing percussion for the
Ferris Community.
Ferris Community
are
Band.
you?
Dr. Scott
There you go.
Cohen's last sort of
Yes,
season.
yes.
So I'll be helping out with that. We've got the Wise 5K this weekend, right? I'm doing it. I'm doing it.
I
buddy.
ran this morning.
You're
Good.
walking though, right?
No.
You're
I'm
walking.
gonna run it.
My very first
I'm running
5K
it.
this morning.
I'm gonna run it
Shout
with
out
this
down.
guy.
Thank you, sir.
And unless he walks, and then I'll walk.
Oh,
with
no,
him.
I
But
won't.
No, we're jogging. We're
I
just
ran
gonna
the
do
whole
it.
time.
We're gonna suffer. We haven't trained. This guy has been working out daily. These guys are real gym rats. Me,
Well, if you just look at that guy, I mean,
yeah, I know.
he spends way too much time
I
in the
know.
gym.
It's one of those cases where it's almost like, oh gosh, what happened to him? Yeah, it's like children are not thrilled about it. But anyway, so that's coming up. We're
The
going to run
farmers
that.
markets
Farmers
have
market.
advanced to Saturdays now too. That's the buzz.
Seems to be doing really well this year.
Yeah.
Is there 2 days of farmers?
Yeah.
Well,
Dom
they're
said
going
it
to do
to
an
me.
occasional Saturday.
Okay, okay.
I don't know if it's every Saturday. Tuesdays failed. I don't know if you heard
Yeah,
that.
that didn't
They
work.
didn't get any business on
Sure.
Tuesday. So they're going to do Friday and then an occasional Saturday.
Oh,
I don't know
I
if it's
love
every Saturday, but
I love that lot where they're doing it
better.
now.
Me too.
I think it's better.
Me too.
Yeah.
I think the community agrees with you.
Good.
And we seem to be getting pretty good attendance. You
Yeah.
put a lobster truck there and you get a lot of attendance.
No kidding.
Really
For
went.
sure.
If you guys didn't hear, the Cousins lobster main roll or Maine lobster roll apparently is worth waiting in line for.
I hear it's like it was on Shark Tank or something.
Is that right?
It's
That's
been
some-
on Today Show and Good Morning America. Apparently, it's really
Yeah, I walked out of the ribbon cutting because we had tacos at Taco Frida on Friday for the ribbon cutting. I walk out and we see the line, and I'm like, "What's the line for?" And then somebody let me know there's lobster down there for sale.
$22 for a lobster
I don't
roll.
care. I don't care.
All
I
right,
would have paid it.
so we updated them on the splash pad. That's open. Go enjoy it. The depot, it's going to be open pretty soon. We're going to be cutting a ribbon before you know it. Car wash, that's going to be in front of Family Farm and Home. They haven't broken ground yet, but crews have been out. If you're out today, you're probably annoyed that crews are repainting lines and stuff like that. You might have noticed Harbor Freight ripped their signs down. I got very
Put a
scared.
great big huge sign up.
I know. I got very nervous.
You did. You texted me. What's going on?
Yeah, I was like, what is happening with Harbor Freight? I thought they were leaving town. Nope, just new signage. And the movie theater, we're still on hold, but we will be diligent. We're going to get you guys an update just as soon as we can
Cottage
on that.
Pizza's moving, finally.
Yes.
They got their in-ground plumbing in for the drains and
Yes.
stuff, so that must mean they're coming.
Yeah, that was the
what I'm
biggest thing. Yeah, now they're building walls.
Now they're, now they're
So,
building. So
about a
that could be
couple
a real nice venue. They're going to have a liquor license.
Yes.
So you have a movie theater, pizza place with a liquor license?
Yeah,
Sounds
right.
like a real city,
Real
doesn't
nice
it?
date.
Finally.
Real nice date
It
night.
does.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're tickled with that one, too.
Okay, well, I tell you what, that has been wonderful. Mayor, we can't thank you enough.
thank
This
you
has
very
been really
much.
great. Thanks for helping us sort of, break in the studio a little bit and being our
bet.
first guest.
It was fun.
Good, awesome.
Don't forget Bird City.
That's right. Big Rapids. Not only are we the only Big Rapids in the world, we're a trail city and maybe soon
Birds.
Bird City. And you know what? Those are the kind of things that make me happy. Yeah. Knowing
They
I
do,
live.
doesn't that?
Yes.
Can you say Bird City without being happy?
No, that means I live in a town
You
that is
can't do
nice
it.
enough that
Yes.
birds want to live there. They haven't been all scared away. It's not just full of pigeons like New York City or something like that. You know, we have proper
Pigeons are
chimney.
birds.
Chimney.
Pigeons are birds.
Well, they are birds, but not
Okay.
proper birds. I'd
Not
say.
They're not the purple martins.
They're not purple Doc
and-
Martens.
We
and
have
they're not
bald
chimney
eagles, too.
sweeps.
I mean,
Chimney
we
sweeps.
got it.
Chimney sweeps, Doc Martens, all of them. We have them all.
We have
now.
them all here.
All right.
The loons.
We've had fun today, but you know what? That's that I think was a really great show for What's Up Big Rapids. I'm Chris Jane.
And I'm Pat Brooks.
And just remember, kids, kindness is contagious. Please go out there and be the example that you want to see in the world. We're all counting on you. Dom, hit it.